Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I loved our discussion this week. You know, we had our weekly phone call to talk about our game coming up. And we had to reflect on the fact that he won the...
Like that, but when you look at the numbers across the conference from last week, he was clearly...
I agree with you totally. He was so good, they just couldn't ignore him.
The first carry now for the BYU man. It's sheltered before he could get out of the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And left side here, it's Graham. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They give them 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, you know, a little bit numb, because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the others, you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Room to run past midfield. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The numbers for Adams in last week's game. He was pretty prophetic. He said before that game, I want to get in the end zone often. He got there 3 times.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch a lot of footballs. That is important, but it's what you do after the catch that can make you great. And he had a great game last week.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And now this offensive unit, we get a look at their starters. They put up good numbers last week, looking to carry that forward.
Yeah, Brandon, they saw the numbers from last week. They expect to at least replicate them. They think that they can put up bigger numbers this week. They are a confident bunch.
That's fine. Yeah.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. His throw incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks. Defensively, let's go ahead and meet the starting 11 for Minnesota. They've been pretty much a mess against the pass, number 31 in the league.
And the easy thought process is that stopping the run is the least of their problems because they're facing the #1 passing team in the NFL. But if they don't stop the run as well, then that just opens up the passing game even more. They've got to do both.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He'll buy some time right. He's got Adams on the hookup. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
They go back to the ground with Williams. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That one whistled against it.
It could be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Throwing is Rodgers. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A good pickup after the penalty, 12 yards, and it's 2nd down.
I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this has started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. On 2nd down, Williams. The tackle made there by Harris.
Their identity that they are a passing team, but one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
This will be play number 9 coming up on this relatively long opening drive as they look to convert on 3rd down.
319!
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation,
so on now for the Packers at their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. And Crosby puts it through. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This is taken near the 13. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'2 quarterback who was a 4th-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They'll first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. The starters now on offense, and Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries, but boy, has he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
Play action now. Cousins going deep for Diggs. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. Let's take a look now at how Green Bay will line up defensively. It's a unit that has had all sorts of issues against the pass. Dead last in the NFL, number 32 in the league.
That was a nice play right there, but overall this season, it's been an absolute disaster. A total lack of communication on the back end. They need a leader who can put this team, this unit, on his shoulder pads and carry them to the right spots.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, here's Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Here's Jackson. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. And able to find Graham, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him old reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Tackle made by Everson Griffin. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. On the tackle, it's Trey Waynes.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. The Packers on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now it's Rodgers. They'll roll him out right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you've got your best people in the area to try and take that away.
Rodgers going to go on 4th down. On the move to his left. And that is going to be incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 22 carries, 95 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
And now whistles and a flag. And I think we got a jump here. So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
Cook following the penalty. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. That good for 22 and a first down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Cousins now. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. More now on the return. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
How many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover.
Well, so much for all the time that you spend in practice, because for offensive linemen and running backs to get in sync, that requires a ton of practice time, a ton of watching tape together, a ton of really getting to where you're thinking with one mind on every single play that's called, every single run, because you want to know how you guys are going to block it. They want to know how he's going to run it, what kind of cuts he's going to make, and it's really anticipatory. And when you're really locked in together, you know what he's going to do before he actually does it. On this play, that didn't happen at all, and that turned into a big loss.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers throwing again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. His 4th catch already in this first quarter. It's a first down. And not quite sure what just happened there, other than we do know that he spiked the football on first down.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And a solid run down inside the 30. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stuff. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. So some early intrigue here as we've reached the end of the first quarter. 7-3 the score. We're back to Minneapolis in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Crosby on now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Give them 11 yards that time on the return, and that will come the offense as they take over. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And an alley to run. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time He was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. To throw is Rodgers. Sliding out of the pocket. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Now Williams. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. It's Everson Griffin who made the tackle.
But he stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
On play action, it's Rodgers. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I know we're doing this game live, but let's step into the film room for just a second, because when they review this play, oh, the negatives are going to be incredible on this one. Rolling out to his right. Yeah, he's right-handed, so that's a natural spot for him. But he throws back across his body back into traffic.
Big no-no.
Oh, that's a monster no-no. The only good thing that happened, it fell incomplete. Very fortunate.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They start the drive with Cook. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold them to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Second down, Cousins. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in it.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the brought down here at the 28. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves him with 3rd and just a couple.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The Packers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Williams. And now running right through it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Here's Rodgers to throw. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Rodgers will try again on second down. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. Starting to rack up the yardage here in this first half. 5 catches now and a first down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Williams. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. See the pellets go up. It's still a nice play by the defense.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
Let's go, hey, let's go, come on.
Now Rodgers on the bootleg. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Jimmy Graham, his second touchdown on the season. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And now out comes Minnesota. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance.
And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Nick Perry able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. To throw is Cousins. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Now a run with Cook. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Cook, and this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it's going to be third down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have made this now a 1-score game. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a 1-score, 6-point game. Fielded about a yard deep. He gets away from one. And an alley to run. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20, and they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Jamon Moore, 101 yards, and the Packers add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But
looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Crosby with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Short boot, taken at the 21. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. And that is incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that'll make it third down. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league.
Packer pressure, and down he goes.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They're not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at it.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They begin the drive with Williams. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. It's caught outright by Graham. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll get things started in the NFC. Seattle paying a visit to Detroit. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And as you see, they are currently all tied with the visiting Redskins. And our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half. Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. Incomplete. Right side to Cook. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On third down, that's Cook. Oh, eluding the tackle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That good for 19 and a first down.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was third and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
They run again on first down. Cook. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And now it's third down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 right at the 30. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a third down. And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here.
Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
Here's J.K. Scott now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches that I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax. You don't have to be perfect. Get as many guys as you can. But if you leave one free, the great runner will either make him miss or go through him. So don't worry about that. You don't have to be so precise. Just go ahead, block some people, try and create some room, and allow him to go to work. And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Off the play fake, Cousins. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. In on the stop there, Andrew Sendejo.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Rodgers to throw on second down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Like how they started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. To throw, it's Rodgers. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get a big amount back, 18 yards, but they'll still look at a 4th down now.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now a handoff looking right. Fights forward for only